So the plan was, when I came here, was to use a actual physical paper map, but it's just gonna be a pain to go and find the exact map that I want. I need a 1 to 125,000 scale map of the south of Cyprus, the Greek part. I don't want to go walking around asking in different shops, where can I get this map, where can I get this map? So I'm just going to use OS Maps, and I packed up, walk over to Decathlon, buy a new backpack.
So Decathlon was closed, but I did have a shave. I really do need to go there because I need 2 essential things for my trip, which is a backpack that's not ripped. So at the time of recording this right now, I'm quite sick, so I do apologise for how bummed up I sound. Yeah, it's not a bad place to be sick. This is the view right out from my bedroom. There's a guy that cooks for me and plays the flute quite a lot, so not too bad at all. So I walked back into the city of Larnaca, got myself a nice hostel, got changed, put some suitable clothing on, went and got some beers, drank the beers, was quite happy. Next day I woke up pretty hungover, found a really good barber shop, got my hair cut. They recommended me some gas for my cooker, which didn't work. Next day, got a taxi over to my start point, which was the mosque. I didn't get a photo in front of it, so there you go. This was my start point right here, this Sultan Tech Mosque. Probably mispronouncing that, but that's all right. Got on the road, was pretty happy to be on the road again, or just on the road. Then actually got onto a main road, which wasn't ideal. Nothing really gone to plan the past few days. I've ended up been trying to look out for spots to camp, but nothing. So it's getting dark now, so I'm going to need to find somewhere. Finding somewhere to camp on paper seems pretty easy. It's like, oh, you got a hammock. Look at all this shit here. That's all rubbish. Just dumped in the side of a beautiful field. Probably would have been a good idea to learn how to actually use a hammock before going on a trip that I'm going to use a hammock. I'm just being careful because I'm quite out in the open here, and there's a road about approximately 500, maybe 400, maybe 300 meters away from me. Now we have to be back because none of these trees are close enough together to use the hammock, and I don't really want to sleep on the floor. Might have to just sleep on the floor. Just suck it up and stop being a pussy. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop being a pussy, and I'm just going to sleep on the floor like a real man. Yes, so I couldn't find any trees that were close enough together for the hammock, so I went for my other option, which was a basher and a bivy bag setup. This is basically just a piece of camo tarp that you can pretty much attach to anything, and then like a Gore-Tex sleeping bag cover. Bivy bag. I got a little light set up, and then my clothes for later on, some water, cigarettes, and my bum bag or fanny pack, and my hat. I feel like the dog barks get closer each time almost, kind of scary. It's 5 in the morning. Decided to try and pack up while it's dark. Yeah, so I was planning on going this way, but maybe not. What do you mean firing range area? So yeah, I got my coffee. So at this point I was pretty pleased because I found a bakery-coffee shop open at 5 a.m. and I stopped there for a while, ate and drank loads of coffee. My second one actually, I thought, well, I've got one, a place I can get something to eat and something to drink, I might as well double up on it. So I had some weird pastry that tasted like alcohol. I think it was off, I think the pork had gone off in it, so I really need to poo. So I forgot to mention, I did get to a Decathlon, but the bags were over €200 and I wasn't paying that. Situation on the bag.
Slowly ripping, oh I say slowly ripping pretty bad, but not much I can really do. I'm not paying €200 for a new bag.
So I remember at this point actually, I'd just stopped in a village to resupply on water and some food. And I remember just being so happy that the trip was actually starting to work out and it was becoming what I actually expected. It was starting to get more rural and the countryside in Cyprus can be really desolate. It's exactly what I wanted. Dogs out, and they're big dogs as well, like German Shepherd looking things. Not sure if it's exactly a German Shepherd, but they look like German Shepherds and they're big. The ones that were off the lead weren't aggressive today, but they were barking at me. But there's shotgun shells everywhere, like every 10 to 15 minutes I'd say. There you go, there was one. Not sure if that came through on the audio or not, but there's just like gun sounds. Someone's firing a gun. But I'm really glad that I'm in. There we go, another shotgun shell here. Another one everywhere. Of course they just leave them on the floor. So I might try and get some kind of hotel or guest house tonight because I just want to wash my willy, to be honest. Yeah, so this is actually my longest day. I ended up doing, I think it was about 24 miles in total, with a fair bit of steep climbs in there as well. But I knew deep down that I was going to a guest house and I was going to get a good night's sleep and hopefully some good food as well. Not sure if you'll be able to make it out here, but that's actually a guy with a shotgun and he was actually shooting something. But he clocked me, so I stopped filming. I remember this moment. I remember I stopped to send a video to a friend just because this landscape was just so amazing. My Garmin died, but I was about 20 miles in, so I started my Strava on my phone just so I can get an idea of how many miles I've done. It's so beautiful. Like the rolling hills in the back there, if you can see them. Oh, it's just so good. Like absolutely beautiful. And it's like they've got the steepest like mounds almost, like they're so steep. So steep and small, so like not small as in height, they're just like up, down, straight away, like really steep up. There's probably a really technical way to say it and I'm just like explaining something that already exists. So this is like probably my favourite thing I discovered on the trip, food wise. It's like a burnt fried pancake filled with cinnamon sugar and honey. And I've eaten probably about 20 of them in the 5 days I've been here already. They're so good. But I booked this apartment. It's very Christmas themed. Like we've got like Santas everywhere, and then a very cluttered table full of Christmas. Contemplating, well, weighing it up in my head, whether I somehow get over to Limassol, which is just south on the south coast of Cyprus, and find myself a place where I can get a backpack. Because this one is obviously ripping, and then also it's really causing me a lot of shoulder pain as well. Not sure if it'll do it justice on camera, but I've just climbed up this like that And it's so steep you have to almost climb up like a big chimpanzee and use your hands and feet. My sticks broke that I had. The little they were twigs, so they weren't strong enough. I looked at this spot here, or these little orchards, as potential camping spots up there as well. So it's getting kind of late as well, so I really do need to find a spot to camp. But just trying to avoid them orchards. Like, oh, it's got plums on there, I think. Or some. So I'm actually really glad that I didn't camp in those orchards, because the next morning when I was closing up my camp close by to the orchards, I saw a 4x4 going down there to do something with the hoses or something. So pretty lucky I didn't sleep there, I guess. I feel like I'm about to tell a ghost story or something. Got my camp set up. Definitely out of my comfort zone, but that was what I was looking for. Yeah. Definitely scared. What am I scared of? I don't know. 20-cent ramen soaked in cold water. And there is a light moving over there, so I'm going to turn the lights off. Yes, if you got this far, you might be thinking, why is this person scared to, camp and scared of people? The thing is, it's illegal to wild camp in Cyprus, and there's forest rangers driving around, and I believe they can fine you on the spot. And I don't fancy paying any fines. Cold. I need to get up and close down the camp. But I'm dreading getting out of this sleeping bag because it's freezing cold in here. So it's probably even colder outside. All I can really remember from this point was that I was really, really, really cold. And the last thing I wanted to do was just get out of that hammock. But I knew I needed to because it was starting to get light. And the forest rangers would start doing their rounds. And as long as I had my tent, my basher, all closed up, there was no reason for them to, find me. Very cold last night. Very cold, as per each other in the whole night, pretty much. I'm freezing cold now, but that was a setup last night. Plan for today is to, first part, finish this, second, walk up there.
Oh my God.
amazing view outside, which I'll go through later. And he's going to cook me dinner and lunch. And I've also got some good reading material for tonight. Maybe not. So this is the owner of the hotel or guest house, however you want to call it. And he had a sewing kit. So we spent about 1.5 hours, 2 hours sewing up my bag and getting it all ready. So this guest house functions as both a guest house and also a museum. It's a really, really, really unique kind of place. Hoping I'll get some more footage of this place and the little village. There's only a population of 9 or 10 in the whole village. So it's a really interesting place, and he's a really interesting guy.
We play some flute then with your maintenance. Sorry.
So I'm pretty unwell. I think maybe it could be because I got so cold. Really not great. So this is the view here from the bedroom in the guest house. Waking up to that was pretty amazing. And also, I was feeling a little bit better today, so decided to go and lend a hand to Kostas, the guy who owns the guest houses at his other properties that he's working on renovating. So that was good fun. So on this day I helped Kostas, the owner of the guest house, put up some curtain rails and do some general cleaning in the other apartments that he has. So just helped out with that. And yeah, it was a pretty good day. Had some good food and just chilled out really. This is what the town of Lasagna looks like. Well, I guess the village of Lasagna. There's barely anything here. You can kind of hear people in their houses, which is kind of weird because there's so little people here. Decided to use this day as well as another day just to relax. Helped Kostas with a few things, I believe, and yeah, just relaxed and watched some documentaries on YouTube. So today it's the 8th of January. It's my 3rd day in this town. It's called Lasagna. Lasagna sounds exactly like lasagna, like the food, but it's spelled Lazanais. Well, it's just really nice here. I really like it. And second, I'm not fully well again. Like I still got my sinuses blocked up. My original plan was to get over to the city of Paphos, right on the western side of Cyprus, but I don't need to put too much pressure on myself to do that. I'm technically still on holiday. Not everything needs to be a challenge. Technically I could stay here for the rest of my trip, but I don't want to do that. I think I want to leave tomorrow. So and a little cute shaving foam so I can actually get rid of this horrible bum fluff. Right. Shower time. Should be the other way around, shouldn't it? You shower first, open your pores. It doesn't matter, does it? So, plan for tomorrow is to head over to Larnaca again. Obviously not in one day. I'm going to try and follow a similar path to how I came here. Not going to make it to Paphos, that's okay. Cyprus is always going to be here, it's not going anywhere. This was more a trip to learn about hiking because I knew nothing about hiking before I came. And I was a little bit apprehensive about it, you know, with not knowing anything about it, thinking, oh, what if I know, die or get eaten by a dog or something. So it was a few times where I was outside my comfort zone and I was quite scared. You know, sleeping in the forest on your own and it's dark, you know, it's a learning experience. Now, if I went into the forest, I'd be less scared. So yeah, I'm excited to get going tomorrow. It's raining now, so hopefully it's not raining tomorrow. It's quite cold and windy today. Not ideal, but it's what it is. So I got packed up, got on the road, and Kostas just walked me to the end of the road and said our goodbyes, and I went on my way. So back on the road, you can see it's very small. Most of the houses there are uninhabited, and pretty much I started off a bit late today. I'm not sure if I mentioned before already, but I ended up waking up at 10 because I was up until about 2 or 3 a.m. watching stand-up comedy, and then I started watching this really interesting video about the CIA and stuff. Went down a bit of a rabbit hole. I'm actually going to take one of these little cones, pop it in the bag as a little souvenir. I've already got a shotgun shell. It's cold today. My hands are freezing. Well, you can't really see anything, but yeah, very cold. You can actually see Larnaca from where I am right now because it's quite high up. Let me turn the camera around here. Right over there, that is the city of Larnaca. Thankfully it's dead, but I saw it on the floor and I screamed like a 13-year-old girl. Actually starting to rain. It almost looks like snow, but it's yeah, either way it's going to be wet. So I've got a poncho. How is that a poncho? There we go. It's not bad. I look like an absolute idiot, but doesn't really make much of a change. Last thing you want to do is get wet. here I am. A little change of plans. We had to have a long think about this because it's been raining on and off. There's a moderate wind warning and it's very cold. Our original plan was to camp on the outskirts of that town. Not okay for me to camp tonight. So the change of plan is that I'm walking to Larnaca and I'm gonna get a guest house tonight. It's like a ghost town. As you can see in the video before, the old man that I saw was the only old man or the only person I've seen in the town. But yeah, walking along this highway kind of road, I guess. And I've had like 2 hunters stop and say like, are you okay? Like, do you need a lift? I think later on I might take that, but I want to try and get to, I want to try and hit 15, 16 miles, 10, maybe 10 kilometers on the road. I'm not sure. I'm trying to keep my phone in my pocket as much as possible because it's freezing. Try not to take my gloves off. I'm gonna put my gloves back on now. So I think I can see the town I'm looking to go to. I think it's there. So I'm gonna keep walking. So plan for today, I think I might try and maybe get all the way down towards Larnaca. It would be like 8 hours of walking. I think another lesson from this is to plan a bit more. And have a plan before I go instead of working out on the go. Yeah, so who knows what I'm going to do. I'll figure it out today. Just wanted to mention something as well. These shoes are absolutely amazing. It's the Solomon XT6 Gore-Tex version, so you can step in puddles and not get your feet wet. Use this model of shoe for pretty much everything. I've ran road marathons in them. I've ran long trail runs in them. I've ran fast 5Ks. Yeah, there's also the demographic that uses them to go to festivals and listen to house music and sniff ket. I haven't used them for that purpose, but I guess they seem to work for that too. I think this host put me in the wrong house as well, because I've got this room, which is like, I guess, the master bedroom, like a living room. I was sat on that rocking chair last night. It was really, really good. I've got the clock, like a kid's room. I don't have any kids though. And these pictures are really cool as well. All these pictures here. Like, look at that. I love looking at that sort of thing. Little coffee machine. Which, if anyone's ever travelled a bit, well, no, it's always a mystery trying to figure out how these little coffee machines work. But I think I've mastered this one. Got some nice espresso coming. Also, another point on the shoes. I've had 0 blisters. Way too tall. Pretty big. It's my view right now. Not bad at all. Got a beautiful church right here. I actually read into the history of this church. Or like monument yesterday, but completely forgot what it was. Something about some priest or something, and he found a wife or something like that. I don't know. Can priests have wives? I'm not sure. I can't remember. Anyway, just look at that. Amazing. So I'm on holiday, walking through Cyprus. It's pretty good. A lot of people don't get to experience that, so I'm very lucky. I'm very happy about it. Happy, happy, happy. I was walking along that field over there. I saw something in the distance and it looked pretty cool. But look at this. Like, you can see it's been carved out. Amazing. Kind of annoyed it's not late in the day, otherwise I could set up my little camping stove and my stuff. And that's so cool. So like the absolute idiot I am, I pulled on this strap to tighten it so I could, you know, carry it with my legs a bit more, and ended up doing that. Massive hole in the bottom of the bag now. Maybe I'm thinking I can take this carabiner and into here, and then stab it through this lighter. This might be a really bad idea, but I'm gonna burn this open. There we go. Then this through here. And put this in here. So this is it. Little hole here. Carabiner attached to this. I guess it kind of works, I think. It'd be nice if it just didn't break for once. So I think we're pretty much done with walking because my backpack is hanging on by a thread. It's like the strap, this strap on the other side here. Feel it ripping on every step. Gotta find a solution for this. We'll figure it out. We always figure it out. And it's just started raining. At this point, I got onto the side of the road and started trying to figure out a solution to fix the backpack so I could make it to Larnaca. Still had about 20 to 30 kilometers going off memory all the way to Larnaca, mainly on the road. So I was on the side of the road and under a bus stop taking shelter from the rain, and then this lady comes over to me and hands me a leaflet talking about how the internet is evil and it's the devil in a different form. And she then says, do you need any help? And I'm like, yeah, I could do with getting to Larnaca. And she was like, oh, I'm going to Larnaca. So I went with her. Really interesting lady. She'd been traveling the world for 7 years, handing out these leaflets about the internet. She'd been to Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Turkey, all over Europe, been in her car and handing out these leaflets. Turns out she was also staying in the same hostel I was planning to stay at, which is kind of a coincidence.
Oh my god, bro. Oh man, what the fuck, man?
I was fucking annoyed by how we didn't take the local drink. How dare you? It's great fucking racist, man. He hates my guts, man. Because first time he asked me like, where are you from? And I said, I'm Egyptian. Okay, pick your shit and go.
So yeah, from there we had a really good night. We were drinking till quite late on that local spirit called Zivania. There was some crazy graffiti on the walls. I've had to scrub it out because it was really bad. Probably can't post that anywhere. Got in my taxi a couple of days later, got my plane, and now I'm back home. If you made it all the way here, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.